Welcome to Biological Evolution for fall of 2020. I'm your instructor, Dr. Matthew Terry. The purpose of this video is to give you a guideline, outline, and walk you through all of the material that you have available for the course and how to succeed and do well in the course. So we're going to be relying heavily on Blackboard for this course. Hopefully you're already familiar with it. If not, this video will give you some orientation idea of that. When you log on to my Blackboard course, you will notice on the left-hand side these links. And so we will go through these and talk about what you have available to you to help you learn the material and prepare for exams and other assessments. The first link is a link to the syllabus and calendar. So when you click on that, you'll see a link to this Word document. We'll go over that bit by bit. And then in addition, you also have a link here, which is a link to a PDF of our calendar. Okay, so let's open that up. And we'll go over both of those here. Get the syllabus open. It looks like it's either thinking about it or hasn't opened it yet. Oh, there it is. Okay, great. Okay, so this course will be delivered entirely online. It's asynchronous, which means that much of the material you can do at your convenience. Anytime. There will be deadlines. There are going to be quizzes that are due on a weekly basis. There will also be exams. We'll look at the schedule here in a little bit. Those things you have to do by a specific deadline or on a specific date. In addition, there are also reading questions that are due on a specific date also. But you can go ahead and work a little bit ahead if you would like to and get some advanced stuff done. I recommend, however, that you don't do too much of that. The course is designed to be done and progressed through at a certain pace. I usually find best for most students if you do it a bit by bit, a little bit every few days. You do better than trying to cram it in all at once, especially if you are trying to catch up. But even working ahead a little bit, if you try to do too much in one day, it's not as useful as doing it bit by bit. Okay. Now the course will be working for, the text that we will be working with is Evolution, Making Sense of Life. It's the first time I've worked with this text in a long time. It's a very good text. You'll notice that not everything in the text is covered in the lecture. That's okay. But you are held accountable for reading assignments and material from the lecture. Now to help guide you, you will have what I call SLOs. So on the side here, we have SLOs, and these are outlines. The SLO stands for Student Learning Outcome, but it's an outline of all of the major concepts in the material. It helps you as you're reviewing material. It also helps you as you're going through and getting ready for exams. And so if you use those as guidelines for what you should have gleaned and learned from the lectures, and also for what you should have learned from the readings, that will be a very useful guideline for you. So we look at here for Unit 1, click on that SLO link, and when it comes up here, I'm a little slow. I think it's because I'm running this video recorder. But when it comes up, you'll see a Word document that will list all of the things that you need to have learned for that unit. And I posted all the SLOs for the entire unit. I might be updating them slightly to reflect the new book and add some things for the new book. When I do that, I'll post an announcement. So if you're downloading these and using them ahead of time, I may augment them and add some additional things to them, but I will make you aware of that when I do. So use these. If you follow through with these, you'll have 90% of the stuff you need for the exams, and you can use them as a really nice guide for getting ready for exams or for just reviewing and going over the material that you should have learned for that specific unit. Okay, I've got an office, although I will be on campus a little less than usual because of the pandemic. You may contact me by office phone, although again, that's really not a great way to do it. Much better by email, especially during the week, but even on weekends, I'll be checking emails several times a day. In addition, each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 3 to 4 p.m., I will be holding a Zoom meeting. Now, occasionally my other duties might require me to cancel that, but that's rare. Maybe, once, twice a month, I'll need to cancel one of those. These are open, meaning I won't have any prepared material for you, but I encourage you to log on. You can just discuss, you can ask questions, I can review worksheets, go over any material you want. Other courses, students from other courses may also be logged on at that time. So I teach a upper division molecular evolution course and a graduate course also. Material will all be related. Typically, I find that those are not very crowded. If it does, I will add additional ones, or you can make an appointment. So if this time is not convenient for you, just schedule an appointment. Send me an email, say, hey, I want to go over the questions from the exam, or I want to look at the worksheet, and I'm happy to do that. We can do that in small groups or even in individuals. I try to make myself very accessible. Please engage, ask questions. Online delivery is not my optimal way to do it. I think it's better to do it in class, but it works well for most students. And if you engage and ask questions, go over things, it can be a great avenue for learning. Okay, this is just general stuff about the things we'll learn in the course. Evolution is an interesting course because it is very broad. Evolution is a very broad topic. It's one of the foundations for all of biology, but we cover many, many different aspects. But there are some things that are challenging for some students. So you do get into a little bit of depth and a little bit of complexity for some of these areas. Okay. Every week there will be a quiz. Oh, let's do exams first. So there are 4 midterm exams and a final exam. All of these are required. All of them will be counted towards your final grade, and they'll all be counted equally. The midterm exams are 50 multiple choice questions and are on Blackboard. There is a day, but anytime during that day, you can access that. The final exam is comprehensive and will be composed equally of all of the questions from those 4 previous units. It will all also be multiple choice, although usually it's more like 80 questions, but for final grading, it's scaled down. So point-wise, it's worth the same as all of the other exams. The date that the university set for our original schedule was Monday, December 7th. So that's the date that we will be taking. We'll be taking that final exam anytime on Monday, December 7th. Now, although it is comprehensive, it is composed entirely of questions from the previous exams. Now, that doesn't mean that you will have seen every single question, though, because there are pools of questions for each of the exams, and not every student sees every question. However, you will probably see 60 to 75% of the questions on the final exam will be questions that you were given on previous exams. So although it's comprehensive, you need to remember the material and review the material at the end of the semester. A lot of it will be things that you're very familiar with and will have seen before. Okay? We'll look at the calendar after I go through the syllabus here to look at the dates for those. There will be a quiz every week. This quiz will cover all of the material that we went over for that week. The quizzes will be posted by Wednesday, usually earlier, but at least by Wednesday of that week. You can take them on Wednesday. You don't want to take them earlier than Wednesday because, again, that's when the material will be delivered for the last part of that unit. And anything that we go over that week, from readings to exercises, to quizzes, worksheets, is fair game for that quiz, but only the stuff that we do that week. The quizzes are also on Blackboard. They'll be available until Friday at midnight. So you can take it on Wednesday, which is when you should be completing the material for that week. If you want to study or review and spend some time, you can do it on Thursday or even Friday. I encourage you not to leave it to the last minute. If there is a technical glitch and you contact me by email and there's enough time left before the deadline, I can often help reset a quiz that was interrupted because of a technical glitch, and we can fix it. But if you're waiting till Friday, that's fine as long as you complete it. But if you run into a glitch, it's unlikely that you'll be able to fix it. Those glitches are rare, but you're running that risk if you delay it. So I would recommend taking it on Wednesday or Thursday if you need to study a little bit. For the first quiz, you can take it as many times as you'd like. After that, you'll only be able to take the quiz once, but it's an online quiz. So you can use your notes, you can look things up, Google things, whatever you feel will be helpful. You can do those. And that's just the nature of these online courses. I try not to be too draconian for quizzes and exams. There are software apps where you can lock out all web browsers and make students so they can't look away from the screen. But for me, those tend to generate more problems than they solve. So it's just a nature. I know that it inflates grades a little bit. Students do a little better, I think, than they would otherwise because of the online format for quizzes and exams. You don't have to remember everything in your head, but there still is a time limit. I'll put it in the announcements for exams. It's 90 minutes. So you're not going to be able to spend, 10 minutes on every single question, look it up, call your significant other, phone a friend. So there is a little bit of a limit, but still it's largely open. Now, in addition to the exams and the quizzes, you will have two other elements that will make up your grade. There are worksheets that are posted on and submitted through Blackboard. The first one is already there. It's not due until September 14th. Okay, you can work on these individually, or if you want to email members of the class or already know members of the class and like to work on it in a group, that's fine. I encourage that if you'd like to do that. However, you have to submit your own copy. So you can't just, do a group one, put 4 names on it and submit that. These are submitted through Blackboard. I'll demonstrate the first one here. It's not due till the 14th, but when you click on this worksheets link, there will be a link to the worksheets that are available. Right now, it's only the first one that's there. Let this load. Maybe I need to play some Jeopardy music. Well, we'll look at that in a minute. We'll let it load here while we do that. So let's go back and look at the syllabus. So those worksheets are a Word document. You'll download it. You can type it into Word. If you would like to write it out by hand, that's fine also, and then take a picture. I require that you submit it in one of 3 formats, however. It just makes it easier, make sure I can see it. So it either has to be in the original Word format with your answers recorded and saved in Word, Microsoft Word, which, by the way, if you didn't know, you can get for free from the university, or in a PDF format if that's easier for you, or in a JPEG format. I do have some students who like to do it by hand, and then they'll take pictures of it on their phone and upload them in PDF form or in a JPEG format. And that's fine too, and that works all right. Okay. Worksheets are due on the day they're listed on the calendar. We'll look at it here in a little bit. And if you turn them in late, so plan ahead. If you plan ahead, it's not going to be a problem. But if you turn them in late, it's 25% in addition to whatever points you might miss from the worksheet. There are guide videos that are available that are linked to in the worksheet here. So worksheet number 1, there's the Word document. There's the guide video on YouTube, so that will walk you through it. And the guide videos actually give you a lot of help. So use them and work through them as you're going through it. So I click on this. It's going to bring up a Word document. And then I can, allow to edit it and say, I don't know. If you do this, you won't get credit for it, but right. So you'll do these. Again, the guide videos will walk you through it. Hopefully you put better answers than that. Enter all of your answers, save it. You can put your name on it or just save it in the same format. It doesn't matter. So once you get done, let's save this here. We'll just save it to my documents folder. All you're going to do then is come back to the original assignment, click on the worksheet. Once that loads, you'll have the option to upload attachments. So you don't need to put anything in that submission here. All you do is attach the file with your completed worksheet, submit that, and you'll be done. Okay, so again, not due till September 14th. If you'd like to get a head start on it or work on it a little bit at a time, use that guide video and watch that. That will be of great help to you. Okay, so that's worksheets. There are 5 of those throughout the semester. In addition, the last thing that you will be graded on is a reading assignment that will be given sometimes 2 a week, sometimes just 1 a week. They tend to be a little bit denser. There are more of them at the beginning of the semester than at the end, but I think there's something like 16 or 17 spread throughout the semester. Okay. Now, I don't require any feedback from your reading in the textbook. However, you will have a weekly reading assignment that will be posted on Blackboard. It's due on the day, and there aren't any late ones because these are basically like participation grades. When I teach this course in person, I take attendance occasionally, kind of randomly throughout the semester, and that's just part of it that encourages people to attend. This is encouraging you to read and to some extent engage with the material. As long as you do that and put a little bit of thought into it, you'll get full credit for it. So these can be found in the daily links folder, and we'll look at that daily links folder here in a little bit. Okay. So we'll review that here. But again, full credit, as long as you put a little bit of thought into it. They don't need to be long. Some students find it helpful to write a little bit more of a thoughtful, longer answer to those questions. They're all open response. But as long as you put even a little bit of effort into it, you'll get full credit. Just, the more you do it, the better you are. These questions may also appear on exams, or modified forms of those reading questions might also appear on exams. So it's to your advantage to put a little bit of thought into it, make sure you know the answer rather than just kind of writing something that will get you the credit for it. Okay? So at the end of the semester, I will grade you on this scale. 60% of your overall grade will be your exams, again, all weighted equally. Your quizzes will be 15% total. I drop whatever the lowest quiz is before I calculate the total. Worksheets are 15% also of your total. I don't drop any worksheets, but I will drop a reading question. So these, because they're either full credit or zero credit, if you miss one and get a 0 for it, it won't impact your grade. However, if you miss more than one, then it's going to start to impact your grade. And those are basically free points for those reading questions. So it's good, it's to your advantage to do those. At the end of the semester, I will calculate your grade based on this scale. If you have a 90% or above, you get an A. You must achieve a 90% for an A or an 80% for a B. An 89.9%, an 89.96% is not an A. It's still a B. Okay? No matter where I draw the lines, I'm always going to have a few students that are just a little bit shy of that next grade up. And that's just the way it happens. The only way for me to be fair to everybody is to set the standards at the beginning of the semester and then stick to them. I have yet to have a student saying, oh, I got a 90.01%. I really don't deserve the A. Would you mind rounding that down to a B? And so the reality is that in the long run, over the course of your career as a student, it evens out. Sometimes you barely get it, sometimes you barely miss it, but overall, in the long run, those that are close to the boundary will even out. Again, because it's online, it's a good idea for you to keep up, even though you don't have to for many of the things. There are some things that you have to do. It'll be good to keep up. If during the semester something comes up and then you have an issue, some of you may already be familiar with this, many of you are not, but you never know. You might get sick, God forbid, but you get in an accident, you have some other family emergency. To do this, you need to contact the Student Accessibility Services Office, let them know, make arrangements. They can tell you about the options and the other additional supports that you might have from them. So this is just here for your information if you need it throughout the semester. So let's take a look now at the calendar. Okay. So the calendar is one place you have, and everything that is listed that will be due throughout the semester is listed here. So for each day, and because originally we had scheduled this for an in-person class that was going to meet on Monday and Wednesdays, I've just arranged it to do that, and your due dates will be Monday and Wednesday of each week for these reading assignments. Quizzes, although it's listed on Wednesday, it's listed as due on Wednesday. Again, remember, technically you have until Friday at midnight of that week to complete it. Okay, so for each day you have a reading assignment. Sometimes you have a chapter from the book. If it says CH1 or CH3, those are chapters from the book. And I jump around a little bit because I think this is a more helpful order to go in. But chapter 1 is the reading assignment for Monday, August 24th. In addition, there's a paper assigned, paper 1 by Dobzhansky. Those papers are found here in the readings folder. They're all provided for you. Most of them are PDFs. I think one is a Word document, but you will see those there. So you can find those here. Is our first one. Again, you should read this for Monday, August 24th. It will come up. This is the one as a Word assignment. So read it. And then with each of the papers, there is a corresponding reading quiz. Okay. And I'll show you where to find those here in just a little bit. So let's go back. Maybe we have to do it this way. Go back to our calendar. Okay, so you can use this calendar if that's helpful to have everything in one place. If you want to print up a hard copy, you can, but it will always be here for you to refer to so you can plan ahead with what's going on throughout the semester. Okay, the exams are listed there also. So once this loads, we'll take a quick look at that. Again, the exams are 4 of the quote-unquote unit exams that are spread throughout the, see if I can open up this way, spread throughout the semester, and then the final exam is on December 7th. All right. So your first exam is not until Monday, September 21st. And then again, spread roughly throughout the semester. The last exam is on the last scheduled day. And I don't, even though it's online and we could do this, I don't have you doing any material on the days when there are exams. So you don't have reading assignments or quizzes or other things on those days. All right. So use this if you want to. Now, in addition to this calendar, I also have this to help you stay up and make sure you don't miss anything, a folder here called Daily Links. And if you click on the Daily Links folder, you'll see a number of subfolders that are organized by each unit. And within each of those, there are things to do for each of the days, again, based on the Monday, Wednesday schedule. If you want to get ahead a little bit, you can do that. But the Monday and the Wednesday is going to be when the deadlines are for some of your assignments. So as long as you're keeping up with this, you can either use the calendar to plan ahead or just log into the Daily Links at the beginning of each week and make sure you are aware of what you need to do for that week. Again, it's loading a little bit slowly here, but once this comes up, I'll show you. So the first one for August 24th through September 16th, this is the first unit with that first exam not until September 21st. And this one is just a reminder, same thing as on the folder, that's what you need to do. So for Monday, August 24th, many of you will be watching that on this day. We'll click on that and see what you have to do. And so listed here, step by step, 1 through I think 4 or 5 for this first day, are all the things that you should do by August 24th. And some of them you could delay a little bit, but others are going to be required for you to do by the end of that day, mainly just the reading assignments, the reading questions. So once this loads up, get this going here. So you have everything. So watching the course introduction video, which is what you're watching right now. Next, you should read textbook chapter 1. Okay. Then you should read paper number 1, Dobzhansky, which again can be found over here. I also post a link to it there also, but can be found here in the readings file. Then after you've read that, you should answer and submit these reading questions. And this is very easy. Again, you'll get full credit. So when you click on these, the quiz will come up. You can begin that quiz. And again, these are open questions, so you put something intelligent here. If you do this, you won't get credit for it. But as long as you put something meaningful, again, it doesn't have to be long. It can be short, whatever you think is most helpful for you, as long as you've read the paper, and it's just to demonstrate that you're keeping up with the work. You then would save it, submit it for credit, and then you'd be good to go. Okay, so let's get back to our Daily Links folder. The Daily Links folders will make sure you don't miss anything. Again, you can do it by keeping up with the calendar, watching what's going on there, or you can just use these Daily Links folders. Okay, now in addition, you have along the left-hand side here links to all of the PowerPoints. With online, this is not as important, but some students like, if they're in the class, to have the PowerPoints there so they can print them up and take notes on them or go back over them on yourselves. But these PowerPoints are just what I use when I do the videos. So you have lectures, and sometimes there's 1, 2, or 3. I try to make most of them shorter. Some are a little bit longer, but they're 20 minutes. So you can watch one and then go do something else and come back and watch the next one. But that's what you're assigned for August 24th. And all of this material is fair game for the quizzes that week for the unit exams. Okay, so you've got your PowerPoints. Again, these SLOs, I talked about those earlier. Those are just written outlines with all the major points that you need to master for each of the units. The readings are here. This is where you find the worksheets. I will post in the Daily Links when the worksheet is due, but you should also refer to the calendar so you're not scrambling to get them all done on the last day. The first quiz, which is not due till Friday, but again, I recommend taking it on Wednesday, is already here. So you can log in and take it. This first quiz you can do as many times as you want, but after this, each weekly quiz, you'll just be able to take it just the one time. But again, it's online, so you have lots of resources available to you. The exams folder is empty right now, but when the first exam is on September 21st, I believe it is, that will be there, and you'll log in there to take that exam. Now, the last thing that I have here is additional resources. And there are a couple of things in here that you might find useful. None of these are completely necessary. Well, there is one that is necessary and is referred to in the 1.12 lecture, which you'll be watching on Monday, August 24th. So once this loads, we'll look at what you have there in the additional resources folder. Okay, so this grade estimator is a way, because I always have students who can't figure out, based on the percentage breakdown in the syllabus, how to calculate their grade. So this is just simply an Excel file. You estimate your grade by putting in averages for each section. Remember to drop your lowest quiz score, drop your lowest reading assignment score before you calculate averages for those sections. And then you just put them in, and that will help you to figure out where you are if you'd like to do that partway through the semester. This other link here is a link to a little app that will allow us to illustrate some of the forces of evolution. And so you can access it anytime you work on it. You'll be asked to work with it for one of the worksheets. Again, the 1.1.2 lecture, which is on the list of things to do for Monday, August 24th, will also require that you log in and do this. Okay, so those are the additional resources. The rest of this, the remainder, is just standard Blackboard stuff. You can look at your grades here. After the availability date for quizzes and exams has expired, you'll be able to look at the questions, see which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong by looking at the My Grades folder. All right, so again, keep up. Don't get way behind and then try to cram everything in. The main thing also is make sure you're checking this daily links folder or the calendar, whichever works better for you, to make sure that you don't miss anything. Reading assignment questions are due on the day that the paper is listed in the syllabus. If you don't get them done that day, you don't get credit for them. They're just, again, 100% or 0%. So it's designed to make sure that you're engaging and regularly keeping up with the course. So please don't fall behind. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, or maybe even better, you can log on to our first Zoom meeting, which is going to be Monday, August 24th at 3 p.m. I'll be there to answer questions and go over any material that was unclear for you. You can log in to any of those Zoom sessions throughout the semester or make an appointment. Good luck, and don't hesitate to reach out to me if you need anything.